You know, the longer I look at that fire, the harder that it is to just talk to you guys. Now here we go. When I started this channel, I never expected it to go past 1 year. Now here we are, rounding the corner of 5 years. Incredible. 5 years we've been doing this. That just blows my mind, because when we talked about doing this, this was supposed to be something we did for fun. We weren't going to throw any money at this. We were just going to record it on our phone and do things that we were doing anyway. And a thing at that time that I was doing was I was building a cafe racer. I'm like, well, wow, let's do this. And I don't know if you guys remember For the Bold. He's a bike builder, YouTube guy in the UK. And he absolutely got me hooked into, if he could do it, I could do it. I watched his videos relentless, and he posted them out, I think on Tuesdays and Fridays, if I remember right. But I tried to copy what he did. He had basically a nice introduction of what he was gonna do. He worked on the bikes in segments versus kind of how the bikes people work on now. If you start a project, you have to finish the project. If you aren't getting it to run, if it didn't run, it better run by the time the video is over. He segmented his out basically in for weeks. Like it might be a series of events, 15, 20 episodes long, all just focused content on whatever it was he was doing. Let's clean the carburetors. Let's do the wiring. Let's change a tire. You kind of get the idea. So I kind of took that philosophy, especially on the first couple of bikes that we did. The GS850 was a series like that. The GL500 was a series like that. And then it started to kind of fall apart. Mainly because I just couldn't keep up that pace. And I'm not trying to say that we're going to change a million things here on the channel, but in a way we are. I'm going to try to get back to the roots of where this channel began going into 2026. We're going to take away the shorts. When we first started this, they either didn't exist or I didn't know how to make them. We only made long form content. And that's what this channel is going to be moving forward. With that being said, a few weeks back, I started another, we'll say, secret channel I didn't tell anyone about. I just want to see if you could have growth, natural growth on its own without being promoted like I'm doing right now at the moment. We started a shorts channel and we used a very creative name. We called it acecafebikes Shorts. We've been posting videos of that for about a month, some new stuff, some old stuff, just to kind of get some flavor for it moving forward. That'll continue through the end of the year, and then 2026, that'll hopefully take off on its own. This will be the last video for 2025, this little chit chat that we're having right now. Kind of a recap of sorts of 25, what's gonna happen in 26. But back to my story about For the Bold. He was, at the time, probably one of the few bike building channels. And it wasn't so much, it related to me very much. To me, it made sense, right? It was just the guy in his garage. And in the UK, all their garages are like half the size of a one-stall garage. I mean, it's basically a shed. And he was just out there tinkering around. He didn't have great tools, he didn't have great space, but what he had was the drive to do something with his hands and create something that was cool that he could say he made. And along the way, he was sharing that experience with us. And that's the roots of what this channel started with. Couple that with, I wanted to do something with our kids, and I've said this a million times, to have it be a time capsule that we could go back and look at whenever we wanted. As long as YouTube existed, we could just, on the computer, dial it up and have a laugh. And look at us 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you know, a month ago. So, like I said, I want to try to get back to that. 2026, we're going to release, or try to keep this pace up where we're going to have consistent video content coming to you for your enjoyment. And I don't know why I picked this, but I think in my mind it makes sense. We're gonna do this on Wednesdays, 6 o'clock Central is when we're gonna have our release time. And the main reason I think I'm picking that time is, if I looked at my analytics, it would probably say that's the worst time, because hardly anybody of our channel watches me. And I think that's a lot of just learning, right? If I'm always releasing on certain times, that'll draw the people there. So we're gonna test that and see if that works. The other reason is a lot of the recording that we do is over the weekend. Then it gives me a couple of days to either prepare the video for release, or hopefully we can get ahead of the release schedule. But I also don't like it to be out of date. I like it to be current for what we're doing. So we're gonna do some bike builds. As you can see, we've got Chase's bike covered up. We're getting close to some major changes to that bike. So I just wanna keep that under wraps, and we'll have a big wrap up, you know, the whole video type thing when that's done. And that'll be a lot of work putting that together, because that started about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It'd be great. We've got 3 bikes in the garage right now. We've got the 954 we're not gonna do anything with. The Suzuki Cavalcade, that needs some just general maintenance. And then we've got the XS750 that we're gonna turn into a cafe racer. So of the bikes we have in the garage right now, we've got plenty of work that we could probably do for the entire winter. And if you've watched for any amount of time, you know that we have stockpiled so many bikes we had to get a storage unit to put them in, to be able to bring them in, do some hopefully just general maintenance to them. Carb clean is probably gonna be the #1 thing for all of those bikes. And then wash them up, clean them up, get them running, and then sell them in the spring. I'm still on the fence. I've made some bold statements about selling everything that we have. The more and more I think about that, I don't know if I've given the 2 bikes, the 2 main bikes that we've could ride in the riding season, a long enough go. So we may still on the fence. We might keep the 954 for the 2026 season, and we definitely might keep the Cavalcade for the 2026 season. Both of these bikes are extremely fun to ride, and they are very classic, you know, motorcycles. A sport bike that doesn't age, and then a touring bike that just wanted to kick the pants off of the Honda Goldwing. And I like it a lot, but so we will see, time will tell. But back to current events. Like I mentioned, Ace Cafe Bikes Shorts, that is up and live. Feel free to go over there and subscribe to that. On that channel, I think it'll be like what a lot of people probably got annoyed with on this channel. It might be a short every day. It might be a Saturday where we're doing shorts every hour. I mean, it's just gonna be a shorts channel. I like doing shorts because I think it's fun to mix it up with the music that you can't do with long form content. And it's also a quick glimpse, basically, to help promote the main channel. I feel like the amount of subscribers that we have versus the amount of people that we actually have watched the channel is completely lopsided. I think over the course of 5 years, people have, you know, gradually come and they've gone, but they haven't unsubscribed, which is nice. And I feel like people, when they talk about YouTube channels, that's the only metric as far as like what non-YouTube creators can understand. How many subscribers do you have? You tell them what you have, and it's either like, oh, or really? But to me, the subscriber count doesn't mean anything as much as people watching, commenting, and either enjoying or not the stuff that we make. Hopefully you enjoy the stuff that we make, because that's why we kind of do it. Or is it? I mean, I think in a lot of ways we would just make this stuff anyway, regardless if you guys like it or not. But that we do want people to watch. And in 2026, even though I've said many times that this is a hobby and I've never had any hopes of ever making money off of the viewers, AdSense is an easy, convenient way to be able to get a little bit of a kickback. And I think it's pretty unintrusive and expected. right? I don't think you can watch a YouTube video without having ads be in it, regardless if I'm, not me, but the creator of that, if he's getting some sort of compensation for it or not. YouTube's just gonna stick you ads on it. So that's probably the only avenue that I'll have as far as making money on this channel. I'm gonna try, this will be something brand new for me to kind of tap into, maybe getting some sort of sponsors for some of the videos that we put together. At the moment, the only thing we've ever done is for Super Clean, mainly because they just keep sending me the stuff and I feel like it's just easy to be able to do a quick short showing how it works, because it's a good product and it does what it claims it will do. That's always been my stipulation, I guess. If it was a product that I'm willing to promote, I better like it, or it better stand up to, it better just be a good product in general. Maybe sponsors, that might be something in 2026 that we do, and affiliate links. I don't know. I feel like just gauging off the last 5 or 6 months of the content that we have, and the subscribers and the watchers, the commenters, I don't think I'd have a huge draw of me trying to promote products that we use, to have affiliates want to partner with this channel. But maybe that'll change. There's a couple of things that I really like that I think would be kind of neat to be able to push, or at least have a little kickback if we talk about them. And maybe that'll happen in 2026. But mostly, I just hope that we can continue to do this, right? 5 years just went whoosh by. And we have done, I just was looking at the wall, so many license plates. And we just started doing that last year. At the end of, going into the end of 2024, we started collecting the license plates and sticking them on. So last year and then this year. And I think there's 15 or 16 of them up there. It's just crazy to me. And if it was some sort of business, that would be the business side. Flipping bikes, we'll call it, right? Where we buy and clean them up and then move them along. And along the way, we get to enjoy a variety of motorcycles, which I think is so much fun. And that's the interesting thing, right? Over the course of the 5 years, watching what I was trying to emulate from For the Bold to where it is now, where it's a lot of nonsense, to be honest, but it's also, we don't do a lot of bike building, and that's what I want to get back to. Not that I'm a good mechanic or a good fabricator, but it's something that I enjoy doing, and I think that's what this is all about. Taking a little glimpse of a guy in Minnesota out in his garage, sometimes hanging out with his kids, making cool machines. So, 5 years from now, when we're doing this again for our 10th year, my wife will be retired, Chase will graduate that year. This can move anywhere. Maybe this will be pretty big. And maybe we'll be making good money doing this. You never know. With my real job, I've kind of been pushed into making some YouTube videos for training content, for some marketing stuff, but I think I got nominated to do that because it got wind that I do this, and I thought I'd just be comfortable doing it. And I am. I do public talking a lot for work anyway, so what we're doing now, wasn't really hard for me. And as you can see, we're doing this whole thing in one take. No editing really is required. Mainly because if you ask my wife, I just never shut up. I just keep going and going and going. But because of work, I've been able to watch a lot of how to make good YouTube videos, content like that. And to be honest, I'm so tired of watching basically the same stuff just get regurgitated and then delivered by someone new. And none of these people know how it actually works. I do 100% believe there's a lot of chance with how this works. But we're gonna try to take some of their advice, because you listen to it, it's repetitive of what people say, but I don't ever practice a lot of the things that they say. one of the things that we've already discussed, consistent delivery. And hopefully we'll do that Wednesdays at 6 p.m. in 2026, that'll start. But I don't make my thumbnail before we make the video. I don't script it, I just go with it. I do kind of conceptualize an idea and then we try to build on that throughout the video. I don't usually have a good hook. A lot of the stuff we could work on. But hopefully, this is the first big test of this. We've actually put some money into some hopefully decent microphones. We've upgraded from some really cheap Amazon ones to now DJI. So hopefully that's coming across as some good audio, because of all the people I've watched over the last probably 3 or 4 months, and there's been several who have discussed how to make good YouTube content and make your channel grow. Consistency and good audio is key, probably in that order. When can your audience expect to watch you again? Consistent. And can they hear you? And most of the time they will ignore or overlook bad video production, shakiness, that raw feel of it's done with a, like old school camcorder, over decent audio quality. But the main thing I think is the content in general. And I was trying to evaluate, some of our best videos aren't always my favorite, but a lot of the stuff that people generally seem to like on our channel is bike reviews and some of the builds. So that's what we're gonna get back to. The main channel is gonna be that. It's gonna be buying and selling bikes. It's gonna be building, we'll say, custom bikes. And as we buy the bikes, we'll do the cleanup and the maintenance and then the reviews. In the summertime, we're gonna try to do more vlogs because, like my wife says, I just run my mouth a lot. And so in a motor vlog, you can hop on the bike, you can ride, you can talk about anything. So we'll have a lot of that if the DJI mics work like they say. I have high hopes because a lot of people that I know that are doing motor vlogs are actually using a mic setup like this, where it's wireless, it's got a magnet so you can just put that in your cheek pad, throw it in, and then you've got some good audio. That's something I've never had be able to do the motor vlogs with, where we kind of did them and then I quit because I couldn't stand watching it myself. So why would I want to force someone else to? So there you have it. Big divide going into 26. Long form and shorts, both kind of with the same name. Main channel, Ace Cafe Bikes. Shorts channel, Ace Cafe Bikes. Shorts. That was very creative of me to do. Oh, man, it's what they say is, if you find something, if your job is something that you do that you love, it's really hard to say it's work. And that's kind of how I feel this is, right? I love doing this. I like to do the filming. I like to do the editing. What I don't like is the hindrance of a schedule. I'm putting that on me this year going into 26, and we'll see how much I can adhere to that, because I do want to build this. Even though if we go back to the beginning when we had 30 subscribers and we thought that's all we were ever going to get, and then it just starts to kind of trickle, right? 1 or 2, sometimes you get 5 in one day, and all of a sudden you have 100, and you're like, what? Now here we are 5 years later, still trickling, just 1 or 2 every day. That's decent growth for me. Just keep it trucking. With that all being said, hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Hopefully your holiday season is going to be as bright as mine, and I cannot wait to see you guys again in 2026. This is Mike with Ace Cafe Bikes, guys. We go!